What does high score mean? New high score, is that bad? What does that mean? Did I break it?
Just
did that sound?
get a hold of my private FBI agent.
Alrighty. So yeah, I kind of organized this board a little bit for you guys, so you guys have like an idea of who you're talking to at any given time. Some of the members were already on there, but I decided to go back and figure out like who you've talked to or who you've seen so far and interacted with. I kind of organized it, I guess. It doesn't really matter much. You guys, I don't know if these are locked or not. I think the pictures are locked, but the notes aren't. So you should each be able to access the notes. And so I created this little notepad for each character, so you can go around and kind of type in what they said or what you think, things like that. You can do it as a group, so you can kind of join your notes together. And then if you zoom out or scroll down, you can see that down here, actually I'm just going to do sync view for now so you guys know what I'm talking about. But these are people who essentially work at Candlekeep. They're not one of the great readers, so these guys have like an official role. And I put Queenie here because I thought it was funny. But these are all people that you've interacted with that don't necessarily have, that aren't avowed. They're not readers. They're not, people who are studying at Candlekeep. They actually have like jobs and professions. So Candlekeep is, their livelihood. And then if you scroll up, I put some various others. These are going to be like the avowed or the people who actually study there. So you have a couple people. You have Fimbris, and you have our friendly ogre, little one here. I don't think I put their names, so I did not type that right. There's little one. There's Fimbris. And you guys should be able to, now that I've unsynced it, you guys can move around and zoom in and see their names and see who they are. And you should start being able to, like I said, add notes to these things. So if you click into one, you should be able to click the little text button, and it should bring up a little box that you can start typing in, like this.
Oh, so the notes, this is brilliant.
But there's no names.
If you zoom in, there are names down at the bottom of the...
Oh my god, that's so tiny!
Yeah, the pictures are blown up. I can probably do...
Oh good, oh good. I as long as we know that it's there.
I mean, they're there, you know what I mean?
I'll change the dialogue boxes a little bit. It doesn't get any bigger than where it's at. So, or rather, if you look at Daryl, or Daryl's name, you call him Daryl because you guys keep calling him Daryl. If you look at Daryl's name...
My fault.
No, that's fine. It happens every time.
I thought you're bad.
Yeah. If you look now, that's as big as they get. So, I'm sorry. You're stuck with that. You can make the pictures smaller, I guess, or I can make the pictures smaller so that you have to...
Whenever you have the names at that size, I at least see like, oh, hey, there's something there, so I know to zoom in. But like the one still at the top two, I didn't even see that shit.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I can only do one at a time, I think.
Oh, you're good.
Find out. So, I don't know if anybody else is having problems. Owlbear for me is like... Oh, no, that did not work. Owlbear is really laggy today. I've been having issues. Sometimes it like takes forever to load things, so if we have to wait for that, then we'll just wait.
Okay.
Short of that, though, as far as the things that I changed in here, I am probably going to change some portraits around. It doesn't matter much, but Kaylin right now is just using the standard Archmage portrait, and it's not really a great thing because Archmage is not a class, but a type of mage rather than an actual person. So Kaylin's portrait here might change at some point. But for right now, I think it's okay. Also, if you scroll down here on the bottom with your Emerald Door Guard, Daedrin, rather there are multiple gate guards. Daedrin's not the only guard of the Emerald Door. So, but rather than try to find individual pictures of everyone, I'm probably just going to use the same one. So while this may be Daedrin, I'll change the name down here to be like Daedrin / whomever, depending on who you're talking to at that given time. Does that make sense?
Sure thing.
And then obviously as we go, I'll start adding more images to this, depending on who you're talking to. Like, technically I should probably be putting, do I even have a portrait for her? I've got to, right? If you're looking at my stream, don't do it.
Twitch.tv/
yeah. Okay, I'll just do this for now. You've just recently met. I don't have a portrait for her made, but I'll get one, or I won't. It doesn't really matter. But this is Yashunti, I believe her name was. She was the person placed in charge. She's one of the Avowed, but Bookworm Skoda put her in charge of watching the door. So you have that. So let me change her name as soon as I can. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing that. I just have it. Bushadi was her name. Bushadi. She has a long name, but whatever. You're not going to remember it anyway. And then thing for her down here. She's made, so she's added. If you guys want more people added, if you want things on the list, one, like I said, the notes should all be you. You can add notes to whomever you want. If you want a portrait, or I don't put someone on here that you want, then let me know and we'll add it. That kind of thing. So I wish I could give you more control than that, but I can't. So if I give you too much control, then you can see all the craziness that I do, and that's not good. And then, So this is actually probably a good time to do a recap. We won't go over the whole event, obviously. We'll do just pretty much a summary of who you talked to, what you did last session. So, you were, in the session beforehand, you were given the room, if I recall, the, what am I calling it? Daenerys Sanctuary, or Sanctum. It's essentially an additional library that also serves as like a worship place for Daenerys. And you were essentially given free reign to interrogate, investigate whom you like, ask questions, search around. Bookworm couldn't really guarantee that everyone would be super cooperative with you, as not everyone here trusts you, but you were essentially left to your own devices while Skoda did her thing with the investigation. So I believe the first thing you did actually was you left the murder scene. You encountered a conversation outside the meeting hall with Skoda, and if you scroll down, I believe it was also with Kai down here. Kai, I believe Tiger Steel is his name. And he is more or less one of the priests of Candlekeep. He's also the lore keeper, and he was concerned about preparing Janusi's body for the service and for, passing on into the next life to secure his soul. And Skoda questioned you all to determine whether or not you were, ready, whether the body could be taken away. So then you were given the room to investigate, and you asked a couple of questions. So I believe the first person you requested to talk to originally was going to be Silvira, but you didn't make it that far. So you went to go talk to her. You found out that she was sick. You requested her presence, and you found out that she was ill. You started heading that direction and realized that maybe since she's sick, you can ask someone else. And I believe the next person you looked for was Kazrin. So you decided to backtrack, went back into the room, sent Fimbris off to go find Kazrin, and discovered that Kazrin was kind of ill as well, but not in the same way. She's kind of feeble, I guess. She doesn't have the highest disposition physically, and so she was just kind of worn. You asked her a few questions. You discovered a few things about her and her relationship with Janusi and her relationship with Alai, and you also got some more information in regards to kind of the interaction between some of the other readers, right? How some of the other readers behave and act towards each other, and that kind of gave you some more in people to interrogate, people to ask questions of, and so you left that interview with some more information, and then decided now is the best time to communicate with Silvira. Kazrin kind of recommended that you look into a few people, Silvira being one of them. I think it was... You guys tell me. Who was the other one? Who else did Kazrin think was suspicious?
I'm reading.
Wait, wait, hold on.
We're talking about Silvira, right?
Kazrin. That was your first.
Kazrin.
That was your first
Kazrin.
interview, and Kazrin gave you at least one suspect.
Taylus?
Kazrin.
Who?
Was it Taylus?
Kazrin.
She might have mentioned Talus, but I don't think he was one of the primary suspects.
I know she heard Alcaris and Bookworm arguing, but
Yep.
I think that's all.
Yeah, and Kazrin said she saw Silvira later at night walking.
Yep. It's kind of a trick question. Silvira was the only one that she really suspected.
I was going to say, I don't have anything written down for anyone else.
Yeah, everything you're saying is correct. But Silvira was the only person that Kazrin mentioned as who she would assume wanted to actually cause harm to Janusi. You know that there's... But based on her conversation, there's some kind of discontent between the two women. So you decided that now would be a good time to go ahead and visit Silvira. So you headed to her room and decided to ask her a few questions. The room was pretty hot, but she was clearly sick. So you could see, a couple of you rolled medicine checks, you could see that she was shivering. She appeared to be perspirating as if she had a fever. And she was pretty motionless in bed the entire time, with the exception of when she opened the door using Mage Hand and closed the door using Mage Hand, and then made a couple of gestures to her closet in order to just direct her around. Inspiration to anyone who remembers the closet's name.
Jezebel.
Hey, that's correct. Mel with the notes. Yes, her primary closet familiar is named Jezebel, and she was the one that was directed around. So, yeah, Eevee, go ahead and take some inspiration if you don't have it already. And yeah, so that in that interview, you went into it pretty well. I was surprised. I figured each of you would be a little bit more accusatory. There was a moment there where you kind of made some suggestions, and she kind of, got a little sarcastic and snippy with you. But overall, the conversation went pretty well. You asked more general questions. You more or less confirmed what Kazrin mentioned, that Silvira, she couldn't remember the time, but sometime last night, in order to, kind of get rid of the hot flashes she was having and she was sick, she did try to go outside and kind of cool down. But there was no troubles there. She went out on a short walk and then came back to her room and then quickly, fell asleep. You've kind of started piecing together some of the puzzle in regards to the dinner itself. You found out that all of the great readers, including Janusi, were at a dinner the night prior from about 5 to 8 p.m. The dinner started at 5 and it was scheduled to go until around 8, but after Silvira left shortly after the meal, she other people started trickling out as well, including Janusi. Janusi didn't even stay until the very end. So those are the 2 interviews you primarily got through. Silvira did have more than one suspect that she mentioned, people who might be willing to hurt Janusi, and that potentially didn't really like her. And that's where we are going from there. So you made your way back to the room, and you are free to call your next interview if you like, or go visit, or wander around, or go see things for yourself. I will mention that it is incredibly cold outside. It is still snowing. Just in the brief time that you all were stuck outside of the main gate, several inches of snow had already fallen, and it doesn't seem like it's ceased at all. Maybe slowed a bit, but we're still looking at, maybe a foot of snow on the ground outside at this time. And although magic can be used throughout Candlekeep, we all know that fire is not allowed. So ice and snow are just kind of left to build up in various places. So going outside will be a bit of a task for you. It's not something that's just going to be easy to do. And I think that's it. So firstly, are there any questions, comments, concerns about anything that I've just mentioned? Anything you need clarification on?
Can you repeat the last sentence or two? I'm sorry, kittens got into the beef jerky and we're dragging it into the office.
No, I was just mentioning that it's still dangerously cold and snowy outside, so you'll need to be prepared for that. That's pretty much it. That was the gist of it. Fire is not allowed in Candlekeep, so that's why they can't really use it to, melt the snow and ice. Yeah, you're good. Anything else?
I'm trying to think what was the supper for? What was it, just to celebrate them together?
Yeah, so it was Deadwinter's Eve. Essentially, today is the first day of the new year. So Deadwinter's Eve is the celebration, or Deadwinter is just like a New Year's party. Consider that to be how it goes. So D&D, or in the world of Faerun, they kind of combine New Year's and Christmas together. That's why you have things like a Yuletide tree. I mean, you have the trees, you have the decorations, and the New Year is all and they exchange gifts, but the New Year is all bundled into one. So this is like the first day of the new calendar year, and it unfortunately started with a murder. So at the end of the year, Janusi, in his tenure as the keeper of the tomes, he has held annual meetings with the rest of his readers to kind of give them an end of year review, to kind of see what their plans are for the new year, to give good news and bad news. And you've started to piece together that some of these meetings went well, or people are claiming they went well. Some people are claiming that they didn't go well. And so you're kind of trying to put that together. And then that night, that evening, they have a dinner where all of them get together and they exchange gifts. There's kind of revelry throughout Candlekeep. A lot of the Avowed and the Sages, they kind of get together and do their own little parties. It's just kind of like a relaxing day for everyone before the new year starts. And business goes on almost as usual. So that is what the dinner's for. It was more or less the Deadwinter's Eve dinner, or the Deadwinter supper is what they call it.
Good.
Make any sense, or make sense for everybody else?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Any other questions, comments, concerns, clarifications?
No.
Okay. Before I change the scene and we start moving on, is there anything that you guys want to add to these? I haven't seen anybody write into these yet. All the little notes. This is your time to do that. If you wanted to update anything, you can do that. I added there's one out here for you, but I think you can copy and paste that. So if you want to create your own little note thing, you're more than welcome to. If one of you want to start like a timeline, that's up to you. You can start using these notes to do their own individual timelines, questions you've asked and how they answered them. Whatever you guys want to do with them is up to you. And I think I've decided how I'm going to handle not investigation checks, insight checks. So I mentioned the last session that you guys hadn't been using insight checks, which is perfectly fine. You guys are building a baseline. You're kind of determining how things are going. The way I'm going to use insight checks going forward, if you so choose to use them, is essentially there's a number. This is like kind of behind the curtains thing, but there's a number of pieces of information that each character can kind of give you and lead you towards. And some of it is truthful, some of it isn't, obviously. Like I said, this is a murder mystery. Everyone has their own motives, their own kind of, reasons for doing what they're doing. So rather than telling you whether someone is lying or telling you the truth, I'm going to let each who wants to do it roll an insight check. And I'm going to tell you essentially how many truths or lies that character told you based on the number of successes you get as a group. I'm not going to tell you what, and I'm not going to tell you how. I'm pretty much just going to tell you, okay, this person lied to you 3 times. They were being dishonest at least 3 times. Or this person was completely honest. Or this person was completely false. That kind of thing. But it's going to be based on how many successes you guys roll as a party. So rather than just giving you the information outright, I am giving you information, but I'm not like giving you the answers, if that makes sense. So, yeah. That's completely made up. That's not how that works at all. That's not how insight works. That's not how any of this works. That's just how I'm doing it. So
I like that though.
Cool.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any complaints about that? Or any questions about it?
I do have a question about the notes.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I just copy paste some of the notes I have and my own notes into it?
You can do whatever you want. These notes are all you. I won't mess with them at all. I'll mess with the pictures. I'll change the names. I'll move things around if you want. Like if you want to start sorting these guys into like primary suspects and suspicious and things like that, we can start copying and pasting and move people around. I mean, you can zoom out. This map can be huge, right? And we can do like a timeline. We can do a like a web if you want to do that. This is just like a starting point for you guys. Or you can not use it at all. It's completely up to you. But yes, you can copy and paste your notes in there, and then other people can kind of do the same if they want. I would just let each other know who you're adjusting so that you're not trying to adjust the same person. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's it for me. There's a lot of talking on my part. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Me trying to read my messy notes so I could add some on the ones that I've taken notes of or whatever they said.
If you click into it, you can see
Yeah.
who's on it. That's neat. Does it work for me? Does it say like DM if I click on it? Or GM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm checking the spellings of the names because I am pretty sure that I messed up every
okay.
single
Oh, I know for a fact.
Sorry, I'll try to do better on copying and pasting.
That is not what I had for Voshadi. Wow.
I'll try to start copying and paste them into Discord. That's my fault more than yours.
Allie's name, I typed it Alley.
Alaric?
Yeah.
So there is a slang here where people say alai, but like it is very different. So I'm gonna correct. That's
the only name I wrote it right was Kazroot. That's it.
Nice.
Should we separate them to the like move the people to the right that we talked to already or like interviewed, and the people on the left that we haven't talked to? Should we do that to make it more organized?
You want him to rearrange the pictures?
Didn't he say we could do that?
Yeah.
If it makes it easier, then by all means. But
You want who on the right?
Too tiny.
The people we talked to on the right and the people we haven't talked to on the left. Just like put them on a straight line or something. I don't know.
Did you all plan on talking to someone next? Do you have an idea?
So I think we mentioned we wanted to talk to either the drunk guy or Li.
Yeah,
The
I think
drunk guy being Daryl.
Daryl,
Yeah,
Daryl,
Daryl.
It's
Darrell.
Daryl at this point.
Darrell. How do you say it?
It's Daryl.
I don't.
It's
It's Daryl.
Whatever.
Daryl.
The
Okay.
masses have decided.
Great.
Okay.
Then you guys can talk to the drunk guy next. So you want to butcher his name? It's fine.
it was Daryl, Li, and then
Oh my god, let me look it
possibly
up.
Tellus. Possibly Tellus.
Right now, for right now, these are the three that you've spoken to, or these are the two that you've spoken to. Ally is next. If you want, we can start organize them kind of in a clock pattern. So I can start switching them around as you go. If that's the case, then I can do this now. If things change, then they change. You know, I'm not going to let you guys dictate everything. Obviously, that's kind of my job. But right now, if this is the order that you want them in, then this is the order that we'll go in. So right now, that is, well, you can ignore him, but this is the order that we're...
Can you switch Alcrest and Tellus?
Actually, you might... Now that they're on... Can you move them?
Yeah.
Okay, now I've unlocked them. I'll just unlock all of them. If you guys want full control over that, then you guys do what you want.
Oops.
Just be careful, because if you click on it and you're trying to like scroll and do all that stuff, it's gonna move the picture and not the screen. So I'll just unlock all of these. And if you guys want to move them around, you can, to your heart's content. You can do whatever you want.
Oh my god, how do I... Sylvira. Did I spell it right?
There's a Y in
So,
there
wait,
somewhere.
that's not how I wrote it. So,
Hey man, I spelled Kazrim with a C.
I don't know who wrote silver. Okay. Yeah.
Anything anyone wants to add to the screen? If anybody want another character is added, anything like that?
I just forgot the name. I didn't write it right. Remember when she Kazran claimed that she saw Sylvira like rushing across some park, but I forgot the name of it.
I think she said the Northern Ramparts.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that? Northern something?
Yeah. Northern Ramparts. Ramparts.
Parts. Okay. Okay, got it. Thank
Rampart.
you so much.
Daedrin is the Emerald Gatekeeper, right?
She is one of the gatekeepers of the Emerald Door, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's another thing too, is like you can add their titles at the top if you want to do that, like all of the people, Queenie, ruler of Candlekeep, you know,
That
Fadric.
would actually help me
Yeah,
a lot.
just add them in the notes. You guys should be able to do all that. Oh, if you don't know how to use the notes, if you click on the note, you can click the little T in lowercase, or the 2T button. It says edit text. That'll allow you to enter Candlekeep. Or I'm sorry, I read Candlekeep instead of enter text.
Oh my god, what was the guy's name?
Alchemist.
Oh, surprisingly, I actually did not spell it right.
With Alchrist? Oh man, I put Alcarest. What the fuck?
Me too.
I caramba.
You can blame me. It's probably my fault. My pronunciations.
Nah, I put ALCHA rest.
Yeah, me too. ALCREST.
Man,
That's so fun.
Feminor has an H in there? What's going on? Okay, at least I was close with that one. Wait, how do you spell it?
Oh my god, how do you spell?
I don't know much about Feminor, right? Or we just saw her on the first meeting.
Correct. Yeah, she was the halfling. Not much has been said about Feminor. I don't think in any of neither Kazrin or Silvira have brought her
Actually,
up.
I think someone mentioned that she seemed worthy of something. I don't recall.
Who? Who saw who?
Feminor.
Femina. Let me see.
Wait. Who saw Feminor?
No. Never mind. Just ignore me.
Wasn't Janusi going to retire and give his position to Feminor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to speak to Feminor. That's what I want to talk to. We didn't speak to Tellers, right? Because I don't know who that is.
Savika mentioned him, but we don't know much about him either.
He's just one of the other readers.
Yeah, I don't know him like that.
Saying you're wrong about Feminor, I don't know when I said that at all. I'm trying to think back of where that information.
I don't remember. I just know I had to write it down when I heard it.
I'm just curious how the information. I'm going to tell you the information is correct. I just don't remember when. I don't remember who would have told you that. Do you remember what part of your notes is it in? Is that something that Silvira mentioned to you? Is it something that?
It's around the part. Oh, I didn't even. God, these notes are terrible. I didn't even specify when I wrote that note down, but I believe it was. It might have been Silvira that said that because I think it was after we spoke to Kazrin. Based off of where I wrote. Yeah, that had to have been Silvira that said that.
I have. Can you repeat it? Whatever you said. At the beginning, the Silvira saw who?
Silvira saw someone?
Nobody's saying
No,
anything about that.
Never mind. Okay. Never mind, ignore me.
What are we doing? Are we talking to the drunk guy?
I was just wondering, waiting for everybody to finish typing in notes.
Okay. I'll type later while we try to question.
I feel like this is gonna take time. No, let's do this some other time.
Got time. What else we doing?
You gotta talk to the others. There's like I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people.
Shanty. Where is he? I'm looking for the person I wanna talk. Yeah.
So we'll come back to this screen as we move on, as we start talking to people. You can get the portraits. We'll leave the portraits up so you guys can start doing it, but I believe this is where we left off.
Yeah.
So
Alaric
go ahead.
wants to talk to Ali.
Let's have everybody go ahead and roll a d20 first so we can get a talking order, and then you guys can vote on who you'd like to speak to first, or second, or third, or who do you like to speak to next. That's really the only thing I care about.
Oh, yeah.
He's not rolling 20s already.
20? God, no. What I get? Hold on. Where's the 20? Always a single digit.
15. Got Adom with a 9. Kyle and Alaric, I need you both to re-roll, please.
Gotcha. Shake.
Why am I rerolling?
You and Alaric tied.
Oh.
Rolled 13. Okay.
Right.
Sick.
Okay. So, this is going to be our talking order for now. Eevee, Emmi, Adom, Alaric, and Kyle. Try to keep that as we go. Keep that in mind. As always, you can defer if your character doesn't have anything to say. So, we left this room. We left our party in this room after their interview of Kazrin. And you're more or less left with the decision on where to go or who to talk to next. So, so far, the two individuals you've spoken to have given their accounts more or less of the evening, how dinner went, where they all were at the time of certain events, and it's your time to decide the actions of your party. So, Eevee, you are up first. You are free to address the party how you like.
I think we should talk to Daryl next. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with that, as long as we speak to Feminor at some point.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to talk to everybody.
They're killed. Dun dun dun. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I mean,
isn't that? I feel like that's what we talked about. So yes, sure. Mr. Drunk Guy.
Yeah, then as
That's
long as
fine.
we go talk with Ali and Yashanti later, he's okay with it.
Yashanti.
Yashanti. I don't even know if that's how we pronounce it, but
I mean, any thoughts?
Alright, let's go
Yashanti.
talk to the racist drunk.
The racist drunk.
I don't think he's racist, but sure.
Hey, it might
Was he
come out. We'll
racist?
see.
I mean, he says something to a to a tiefling. Something
To-
bad, I think,
To
from
Savika?
yeah, who's also a tiefling, so and got her mad. So
He hates demons.
Okay. Are you going to search for him yourself, or are you sending Fimbris out? Or Vushadi?
Who's with us right now?
I think it's just us.
Both of them.
They're all-
Oh wait, I didn't see them down there. Whoops.
Where?
I'm down to send Fimbris.
Yeah, Fimbris.
He probably knows the most.
Yep.
Go, Fimbris.
We can't build connection with him.
So Fimbris goes ahead and listens. He departs for a short period of time. He's gone, half an hour or so, and comes back and is more or less like almost steaming mad. It's Fimbris is usually a pretty happy guy from what you've noticed so far. He's pretty excited. He's just glad to be here. He is not glad to be here at this time, and he comes into the party. He's like, Darrell said that if you wish to see him, you can come speak to him at the hearth.
Right.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Am I okay? I'm fine. I just don't appreciate being spoken to like that. Well, my message to you was much nicer than the message he gave me.
Okay.
Oh, he's definitely sipping.
Maybe he'll be honest.
Hey, you never know.
Yep. Or he won't probably say anything at all. Let's go.
well, if we threaten him, he might talk. If we threaten
You
him,
ask the right questions the right way, you might provoke him to say the right thing.
Mhm.
I mean,
I was thinking
drunk
more of
actions are sober
punching, but
thoughts.
that works too.
Well, he's at the hearth.
Yes.
Doesn't that mean
Yeah.
we're gonna have to go back through those doors and everything? The emerald door?
Yes.
So I wanna ask Fimbris if Eli is still in this area. Because I'm not gonna dignify that kind of behavior by going straight to him. Like, fuck him.
I don't know where Ali is. You sent me to find Darrell, and that's who I found.
Well, can you please go look for him?
Okay.
Now?
Why don't we just ask Vushadi? Not her birthday.
Like it's her birthday.
You can ask Vushadi to go. Give Fimbris a break.
I don't care who goes, as long as someone comes and sits down.
I can go and drag him here.
That would be funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
just
drag
Emmy
him.
goes over there and drags him here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would definitely.
I mean,
She
if you
would
want
toss
to do
his
that,
ass in
sure.
here. Yeah, she'll do it. She'll toss his ass right in here.
I'd like to see that firsthand.
She just like gets up and just like struts right through the doors, and she's gonna go find him.
Hey, I might even come with if he tries to resist. Who knows?
Oh, back up, yes.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Let's
I'm an
get
Emmy
him.
adventure.
I mean, hey, I got my intimidation on point. I was a soldier.
Ooh,
Why are we
yes.
causing trouble? We're not supposed to fight.
He refused to cooperate. We
Trouble.
have the right to use
He
force
gave
now.
Fimbris trouble. We were returning the energy.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you go ahead. I'll just sit and watch.
I'm
And
with
see
Emmi on
how.
this one.
Let's go get him.
So Emmi and Adom are going to go to the hearth to go kidnap Darl.
Yeah,
Okay.
taking everything he owned.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how that plays out.
I don't like the sound of that.
Right. Oh,
I'm just there for intimidation. I'm not even going to say anything until it's necessary.
Oh, I'm ready to grab him.
Oh, through and through? No negotiations?
No,
I mean,
no,
we
no
could try
deal.
I
negotiating.
say negotiate first, and if he then resists,
Definitely.
there's two of us.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right,
I like the way you
Someone
think.
else will beat you.
appreciate that.
Then
I will
I'll
leave you
do
with the interrogation, but I'll be on standby whenever.
Out of character question, don't you think he already knows that it's you can't really threaten him because he probably knows that there's no fighting in Candlekeep.
I mean, I have my fists right here.
You can't like there's like it's like a rule.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
harm
there's no
anyone
fighting in
here.
Candlekeep, but there's also no murders either.
He's got a point.
I mean, get
And
around
besides,
it.
it's only a matter of time until someone actually stops us. Should something
If
break
you
out?
guys if you guys get caught and thrown into jail, I do not know you. I've never seen you before, and I do not associate
Yeah,
with
no
you.
claim,
I'm
no
just
loss.
saying that he's
It is what
causing
it
a
is.
ruckus. He started it because he's drunk.
Is that out of character, Lara?
Yeah, that's out of character.
Okay, that makes
I
sense.
already stated that.
Adom feels a chill in the
Go
back of
ahead.
his.
Sorry.
Someone's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Two things at once.
Sure.
Because I can. Who's going to stop me? So.
No one.
Exactly. The talking order before was Eevee, Emmi, Adom, Alaric, Adom, Kyle. Yes?
Yep.
Or I'm sorry,
Adom,
Adom, Alaric, Kyle.
Yes.
There we go. So we're going to keep the same talking order over here, but we're going to do a couple of things as well. We're going to throw a Darl into the mix down here for, well, obvious reasons. And then I believe it was Eevee Eevee suggested to go get Ally. So on the way to the hearth, you have to pass through or pass by the Reader's Tower regardless. So Adom, Emmi, and Fimbris make their way to the Reader's Tower, and they are speaking, or rather, Fimbris goes to Ally's chambers and gathers him, and requests his audience there in the sanctum. And Ally gets up from his seat nearly, like almost immediately. Emmi, Adom, you can kind of see he seems excited to finally be able to talk to the group. And he actually mentions like, "Oh, good, I was about to go visit them myself soon." And they leave the door, and he looks to Fimbris and he looks to the two of you, and would you rather speak in here, or am I still going to the sanctum? And Fimbris explains quickly that no, I'm taking these two to the hearth. Vushadi is with the other three members of the party. We will meet you back in the room. Well, we have other business to attend to, more or less. Fimbris is still clearly upset, so he speaks rather quickly, but Ally nods his head and heads, down the stairs with you. You all kind of head in the same direction at first. When you get to the bottom of the stairs, Ally goes west towards the sanctum. The rest of you start heading east, out the main doors and down through the Emerald Door. So, at the same time, more or less, it takes you, it takes Emmi, Adom, and Fimbris a little bit longer to get to the hearth than for Ally to reach the sanctum, but that's okay. We'll play it out as normal. So Darrell's already up here, but he can stay down here for a moment. Alai is here as well, and we'll do... I'm just going to make him a little bit bigger so we can see him. Boom. But two things are happening at once. We'll keep the same talking order. We'll keep things going. If things get progressively more crazy, then we'll split it up and I'll handle one thing at a time. But for now, it's really just two conversations happening at once. Just remember that you all are in two completely separate places. So while everything is happening here, well, I have the map here for the hearth because this has the most likelihood of devolving into chaos. You guys, the three of you, are still in the are still in the sanctum as well with Alai. So, yeah, does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
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 Okay, cool. So, as I mentioned, Alai shows up rather quickly. It's less than 10 minutes before he appears in the sanctum. Welcomes you all, greets you all very nicely. And you know, should I sit here?
You can sit anywhere you want.
Yes, please come sit.
Perfect. And he sits at the chair nearest the door. Actually, before we do this, I forgot to change the last time we played, I just changed the ads to run every like 30 or 10 minutes or something like that. They were short, and now it's going to stop. So I'm just going to run them now. We're going to take a quick break. I'm sorry to cut it right here, but this is not a bad place to start because we haven't done anything yet.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, so just give
Yeah.
me a few minutes. Cheers to Kahan with the hydrate, and we'll be back soon. You all can still talk,
Hydration.
but Hydration Nation.
Hydration.
Be back. Ads. Man, okay, it's giving me another 3-minute ad at the end of this hour. And then it switches. Ain't that a bummer? Whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay, so we took that 3-minute break. We split the party more or less. Adom and Emmi have arrived at the hearth to bring in for interrogation Darl, and Alai has been summoned by Eevee, Alaric, and Kyle in the sanctum to be questioned as well. So for right now, we're just going to do both at the same time. Eevee, Alai has already entered the room. You have asked him to sit. You are first to act. You may ask whatever questions you like. Just know that because I'm doing 2 completely different characters at one time, give me a second to make sure that I have all my information right if it requires it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you for getting here so quickly. We really appreciate it.
Yes, of course. I was looking forward to speaking with you.
Especially in this storm.
Oh no, we're just right down the hall. None of us are probably braving the snow out there, and gives a slight chuckle.
So obviously, we want to talk to you. So let's just get some basic information. We know your name is Alai, and we've heard that you have a ongoing relationship with Miss Kazrin. Is that correct?
Oh yes, Kazrin has been one of my dearest friends and companions for a very long time.
Okay. And where were you last night, or the night of the murder, like after the dinner?
Goodness, I left the dinner. I was probably one of the last ones there, but after that, I remained in my room for a short period of time. But I went to wish my dear friend Kazrin a merry Deadwinter, probably around 10 p.m., and she invited me in for a nightcap, and I believe we turned in about an hour later.
You said 10:30?
I believe it was closer to 10 that I arrived at Kazrin's apartment, but like I said, we were probably up for about an hour before going to bed.
Okay.
Okay, so Emmi, you and Adom have just arrived at the hearth. Everything looks to be about the way you left it. Obviously, there's different faces and different seats, different places, but I haven't moved them because I don't care, and I don't think you would have realized otherwise. Little one is almost always there, so little one is still at the at his chair around the hearth, around the fire there, and off across the room. You can certainly see that Bryan is paying more attention to one customer than many of the others. And you do recognize the gentleman from your meeting earlier in the morning. Darl Yashinti is sitting at the bar and seems to be, consuming a beverage, if you will.
Let's go.
All right.
This is a rug, right? This thing right here.
It is it's a big bear rug.
Yeah, I'm gonna step on that.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, little one? How you doing?
Little one greets you, nods his head, looks up from his book.
Nice. Adom sneaks a rib. Walks past these chairs. I'm gonna sit. Okay, Emmi, before we go, I'm gonna sit just a little bit back, just in case it's gonna seem a little pressuring.
Right.
I'll keep my distance.
So I'm just gonna. Do I go up to him then?
You can do whatever you want, Emmi.
I'd say you can sit on the right side of him, closer to Bryan too. Either or.
I want to take a quick commercial break to remind everyone, if this was the Family Guy episode, this is where we do a breakaway where we show Emmi getting swarmed by lightning bugs, by fireflies. In our last chapter, when she was by herself and separated from the party, and the rest of the party was acting as puppets. about to fight each other. So yeah, let's just
I have backup this time.
we come back. It's true. You're not by yourself entirely. So yeah. Go ahead, Emmy. Whenever you like.
Okay, so she's gonna take a seat next to him, and she's gonna be like, "Hi, Daryl. Why didn't you come to the room when you were summoned?"
Darl looks puts down his glass, and he looks over at you and looks over his shoulder and kind of glances around and sees Adom sitting behind, and he's like, look, it's two of Faerun's most famous detectives, bookworms, brown nosers, I'm going to call you, because you look like you like to stick your nose in other people's business. And then he laughs a little bit.
Adom is going to question what he just said, but stay silent for the sake of potentially misunderstanding.
And he's trying to hold back not to just clock him in the nose and give him a bloody nose.
He's still laughing at his own joke.
Like, and- oh, really? That's so original.
Oh, I like to think so. I'm a pretty capable person when it comes to words, but lighten up, guys. We seem to have gotten off on the wrong foot here. Barman, a round of spiced brandies for our beloved brown nosers. My treat. And he gestures to Emmi and gestures over his shoulder at Adom. Adom, I'm going to give you one quick action or word or anything you'd like to do before we switch back over.
Adom proceeds to move up and sits beside Daryl, but does not accept the drink.
Okay, that's fair. We're going to do something a little different, so I'm not switching back and forth. We're going to do one scene and then the other. So we're going to keep the talking order for each individual or for each party. But essentially what will happen from here on is Alaric and Kyle, you guys will get to interact with Alai. And then we'll switch to Emmi and Adom. And then once Emmi and Adom are done again, we'll switch back to the three. Does that make sense? So we're not
I like that.
Yeah, so we're not switching like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That just seems crazy to me. So, okay, so in this case, Emmi, Adom, they've interacted with Darl a bit. They've made their first introductions. No one's been punched in the face or polymorphed into a pig. And drinks have been served. So we're going to switch back to the room. Alaric, you are up next. You're free to ask Alai whatever you like. Also, I gave Emmi a couple of questions. I'm probably going to do that from here on. I know it's frustrating to have your like train of thought cut off. So rather than just like asking one question and moving on to the next person, I'll give you like two. You can make a statement, you can ask a couple questions, get some information, and then move on to the next person. That way everyone's still getting a chance to talk, but you're not stuck asking like, call and response kind of stuff.
Okay. My first question for Eli. First I'll approach him, and then I'll ask. So, would you say that before you went with Kazran, like in her room or whatever, were you with her during the dinner at all times? Or would you say that she left? If she did, at what time?
Oh, we were all together around the dinner, I believe. All together at the dinner. I started briefly. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find this jerk hole. There he is. We all got there around the standard time of 5 p.m. and yes, I believe I mean I sat next to Kazran, of course. We are companions, but I believe I was one of the last few people to stay. Silvira obviously left first. There was quite a bit of tension at the dinner between Janusi and Silvira, and shortly after Janusi began his speech, Silvira got up and left. But when isn't there a lot of tension with Silvira? But I at that point, I don't think any of us were really keeping track of the time. Drinks were flowing, food was being ate, conversation was being had by many. But I stayed certainly after Silvira and Janusi left.
Oh, so, what about Kazrin? Was she also with you all the time?
Yes, I believe Kazrin left a little bit before I did as well. Kazrin tends to fall ill during this time of the year, and we could all sense that the cold was coming on, obviously. So Kazrin did retire to her room shortly before I did, yes, but still well before, or well later than Silvira, and a little bit after Janusi, before 8 p.m. at least.
I can't make any insight check, can I?
I will let you all, if you'd like, if anybody would like to make insight checks, I will let you all roll them after the conversation is had.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. So,
Question out of character
Yes.
before we continue.
Yeah.
Does that only include the people who are in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you and Emmi will be able to do this on Darl, and then Alaric, Eevee, and Kyle will be able to do the same thing on Ally.
Oh, most definitely I'm doing an insight check.
Sure.
okay. So, is it okay if you repeat? Did he say that Kazrin just now? Did he say that Kazrin left around 8 p.m.?
Everyone left sometime.
Everyone.
The dinner was from 5 to 8, so everyone left at various times between those two periods. Probably the earliest anyone left was around, I don't know, we'll say 7, just to keep for continuity. So Severa was the first person to leave. Janusi was giving his speech after dinner. So they had dinner. They all had drinks, right? From, let's say, 5 to 6. Okay, just for the fun of it. So from 5 to 6, drinks were had. People mingled, things like that. From 6 to 7 was the dinner. So dinner was being served. And everyone was eating, still talking. At 7 p.m., Janusi began to give his speech and say a few words. And the plan was that after the speech is over, then the gifts would be given out. And so it was around 7 p.m., I would say, that Silvira got up and left shortly, maybe a little bit after that, 7:05, whatever, whenever Janusi's speech started to get going. And then after Silvira left at 7, Janusi probably left around 7:20 ish, and then other people stayed the remaining 40 minutes or so. So people started filtering out. Ally is claiming that Kazrin left between Janusi at around 7:20 ish, so let's say 7, and Ally, and that all happened before 8 p.m.
Okay.
Does that make sense, everybody? Am I explaining myself well?
Yes, yes.
Cool.
I'm just checking my notes and making the new ones, so I'm not mishearing anything.
Yeah. No, I understand.
And he also said that Kazrin was with him at all times, but left at some point because she was getting a bit sick, or she's starting to get sick usually at this time of the year.
Yeah, she usually this time of the year she starts to fall ill, and with the cold coming on, she just wanted to make sure that she was in her room and not out wandering the halls or anything like that. She just wanted to make sure she was safe and warm and secure in her room.
So my second question for him, did she walk out only one time?
What?
Yes, yeah. Once she left the dinner, she didn't come back. No one did. Once everyone kind of made the decision to leave, they just kind of left and didn't come back. There was no coming and going, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's it for now.
Yep.
So I'm taking too long because my keyboard is messed up.
It's all you.
Okay. Did, uh, during the supper, or would you say during just anytime during the supper, were there any incidents or occurrences that caught your attention?
Really? No. As I mentioned before, the dinner went off pretty well. Everybody was eating and drinking. It was a little jarring, I suppose, when Silvira left, but as I mentioned, there was some tension between the two of them all night, so it wasn't, you know, it was surprising but not shocking, so to speak. But nothing else was.
Between Severa and Genusi?
Yes.
Okay. What about afterwards, after the dinner, or after everything was done?
Anything out of the ordinary?
Just anything, occurrences, incidents, anything that got your attention.
Particularly, there was a brief part in the night where Khazrin woke up and wished to use the chamber pot outside, and she claimed that she saw Silvira out in the middle of the night, but Silvira is often doing odd things around that time. Although it is very weird, I don't know why she would have been out then. It wasn't really. We didn't really discuss it. However, we both quickly fell back to sleep, and then I woke up early this morning to go see Janusi again.
Okay. Can you tell us your role here in Candlekeep?
Are you referring to his specialty again?
Yes.
Okay, I am a master sage here at Candlekeep, and I study the gods. I study their powers, their weaknesses, their tendencies, their relationships, their immeasurable lifespans. I gather information from anything and anyone I can.
I see. So, why gods specifically?
Why gods specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, many of them are extremely powerful, extremely knowledgeable, and they don't die. They live on forever, gathering strength and knowledge and power. That's what is not interesting about that. Is that not what everyone here at Candlekeep strives for? Unlimited knowledge, unlimited ability to continue to research and study and discover. The gods not only have all of that time, but they create as well, giving us more things to discover. What's not fascinating about the gods?
No, I'm just wondering why specifically gods when you could have, I don't know, researched something else. That's it.
Fair enough.
Um,
Eevee, I think that's like 2 or 3 questions for Kyle. We're going to go back up to
Yeah.
Eevee, and then we'll switch the scene back to Emmi and Adom.
So I can go ahead.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you were the one to find Genesee that morning, correct? You and Miss Holly Pocket.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. I was tossing and turning after Khazrin's waking in the night. I fell back asleep but couldn't stay that way, and I needed to speak with Janusi as quickly as possible. So I left my chambers early, headed to him, and found him there on the floor.
What did you need to speak with him about?
His proposition to me the morning before during our meeting at at the end of the year.
Which was?
What are you asking? His proposition?
Yeah.
He offered me the role as Keeper of Tomes. He said he was retiring and that he wanted me to take the reins, so to speak. I was shocked. I told him I'd need some time to think about it, but I promised to give him my answer first thing this morning. And as I couldn't sleep, I decided to give him the news sooner than later. So I think it was around 7:15. I woke up. I headed directly to his chambers. I ran into to Kalen on the way. Captain Strongbranch is. I've never seen him in the Keeper's Towers before, but I imagine he had some reason to be there. I decided that I was going to tell him that I trusted his judgment, and if Janusi would have me or still believed me capable, that I would assume the responsibilities he was charging me with. I walked in. I knocked on his door. It was unlocked. There was no response, but I mentioned I believed he might have had a late night as well, so I tried the handle and it was unlocked, and I discovered him there on the floor. I can't imagine who could have done such a thing. I'm sorry, I misspoke. The meeting with Kalen should have been. He met Kalen on the way to his morning meeting yesterday. So the end of your meeting with Janusi, he met Kalen there, not on the morning of the murder. That seems suspicious. Just disregard I said anything about Kalen right now. Kalen did not come from Janusi's room on the morning of the murder that you know of. Ally doesn't mention that. I just read 2 sentences at once because I'm scrolling up and down. So objection. Strike that from the record. Okay, it didn't happen.
I was literally said,
I
I think we found the killer.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm sorry. I was reading 2 different things at once, trying to like skim my notes, and
I was about to say, not Kanan. What
no,
the fuck?
Kalen. Just disregard everything about Kalen. Disregard Kalen in that sentence. Okay, it does not matter. He'll come up. He can come up later. Anyway, he woke up early in the first of the morning, and that's my fault. That's not Ally changing his story. That's me. He woke up early, headed straight to Janusi's office, found the door unlocked, stepped inside, saw Janusi's body, and, collapsed into the chair.
Okay. What did you do after you saw the body and collapsed? Did someone find you? Did you go let somebody know what happened? Tell me.
I was in shock. I honestly don't remember much after that moment. I collapsed into a nearby chair near the door, and the next thing I know, Miss Holly Pocket is shaking me, grabbing my shoulder and asking me what happened, and I came to. I guess at that time, I don't believe I fainted. I was in shock, for lack of a better word. I could not conceive of this happening to poor Janusi, especially his chest laid open like that. I don't know, but after Miss Holly Pocket got my attention, I stood up, and she led me outside, and we found the nearest guard and raised the alarm. We spread the news, and as soon as that happened, I sent Miss Holly Pocket back to her chambers, and I went to go find Bookworm.
Okay. And then what reason do you think the person who did this would have for taking the heart?
Are you saying his heart was missing?
Well, his chest was laid open, and yes, his heart was missing. What do you think the motive would be for that?
Wouldn't know. That sounds pretty ritualistic. That sounds something, well, honestly, like a sacrifice. Many gods in my studies, many people who are killed and opened such as that, and especially if an organ is missing or an appendage or anything like that, I would imagine that there was some kind of sacrifice to be made. Either that or it was personal, right? Someone wanted to lay claim on Janusi's heart, and their way of doing it was physically rather than emotionally.
Okay.
Damn, that's nice. interesting suggestion. I mean,
Thank you. These conversations are made up. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Okay. So Eevee gets her couple of questions in. You find some more information about Alai, and we jump back to the other scene with Emmi and Adom. You've just been offered drinks. Adom declined. Darl is currently drinking and laughing at his own joke. Feel free to continue on with that conversation, Emmi.
Can I pass the torch to Adom?
If you want him to go first, then sure, but I will request that you do or say something.
All right. What was the last thing he said? It was just making fun of us, right?
Yes. Yeah, more or less. He's called you bookworms, brown nosers. And now he's ordered some spiced brandies for you, and it appears that he's drinking the same thing currently.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was muted the whole time.
All good.
Emmi will refuse the drink too.
Okay, sure. Darl does not seem to care. He continues to enjoy his own beverage. Go ahead, both of you. For different reasons, I am going to allow both of you to roll an insight check for me, though. This is not to determine whether he's lying, but say that again.
Before asking questions.
Correct. Yep.
Insight check.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's the point of being proficient if I roll a 5?
It's not a hard check. Darl, to both of you, seems pretty happy. He seems in a pretty good mood. Some people, when they're drinking, they tend to, fall into their emotions one way or another. It's hard to tell whether the drink is doing this to Darl or the Darl's almost celebrating. But he seems in a pretty good mood, given the circumstances of today's events.
So I'm going to speak as Adom. Wait, did Emmi go already?
Emmi is not gone. She was going to defer to you, but I don't know if she's still decided to do that.
I don't know if she even said anything. I could go. That's all right.
You can go first, and then we'll circle back to Emmi.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So Adom speaking to Daryl. You seem to be in good spirits.
Yes. Why would I not?
What's the occasion?
Shanusi is dead. What's not to celebrate there? I hated that guy.
And you're celebrating.
Has anyone you hated ever died? Has anyone who's ever had complete control over your academic endeavors ever kicked the bucket?
Can't say I have.
Well,
I wouldn't let it get that far.
Well, when it does get that far, you come back to me and tell me how you feel. Because right now, I feel pretty good.
What were you being hindered on that Janusi was preventing you from studying, if it seems to be the problem?
Oh, he wasn't stopping me from studying. That Philistine wanted me to sell off my priceless works of poetry to fund that worthless project on the demonic planes of existence no sane person will ever visit, just to please that horned tart. He is not fit, or was not fit, to be keeper of the tomes. An uneducated bookseller is what he is. Well, what he was again, rather. May the gods bless whoever bumped him off.
Wow.
He raises his glass in the air, requests a toast, but obviously no one else in the bar responds.
Oh, damn.
What exactly were you trying to... Wait, out of character. I feel like I already asked this. My brain is short-circuiting right now. Back in character. What exactly were you trying to study that... Were you trying to study anything that wouldn't be permitted by Janusi?
No, my expertise here is music and literature, the arts. Things that make people feel and experience life in various ways. I'm not worried about the truths of the world. I'm worried about how people feel about them. And he told me that I've had a request from him. I want more space. I wanted more room for my own studies, but Janusi has turned me down year after year, and now, well, maybe the next person won't turn me down. But again, he wanted me to sell my poetry. He wanted to sell pieces of my collection to fund his girlfriend's projects. It was blasphemous. It was unnecessary. It was uncouth. It was uncultured. It was blah, for lack of a better word. It made me sick.
Did he mention?
I'll give you one more before we move over to Emmi. One more comment or question or anything, observation.
Was it that he saw no value in your poetry, or was blinded by the project to see?
I couldn't tell you what his motivations are. That man never had an emotional, non-academic thought or bone in his body. He obviously valued quote-unquote knowledge over my art. However he saw it, I can't speak to that. He was an idiot.
Well, yeah, that's that. I'm done.
Emmi, you got
Out
a
of
couple.
character. I'm done.
Yeah, no worries. Emmi, you got a couple of questions or things. You guys can come back. Don't get me wrong. This isn't you wrapping up everything. It's just me trying to get the turns going.
Oh
So,
yeah.
You guys can still ask more when we switch
On the
scenes
next
again.
turn. Yeah, don't worry.
What you got, Emmi?
I'm trying to look in my notes to see
Sure.
if there was anything. Wow, I'm really bad at taking notes.
Same.
That was another reason for me adding the other thing too, is so you guys can use each other's notes and kind of go off of that.
No worries, you guys are not alone. I feel like we're all bad at note taking.
Me too. With the whole misspell, my dyslexic ass.
My notes are beyond atrocious, so I am not putting anything inside of that.
You know, so
Same.
I write something, what I heard, and I reread it now, and I'm like, it's just mix of words. Like I don't even know what it says.
That's
You
what
know?
I'm like. I have notes written down. Okay, no problem. XYZ, everything out of character. Everything's good. No problem. The second I look back at those notes, what? Nothing makes sense. Like,
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Please continue. Please, Emmi.
I'm like I'm trying for for this thing. Like when we first talked to the bartender and he mentioned someone. What was it that someone came in the bar and they were like shaking or whatever?
That was Darl.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the notes, and maybe we could ask him about like that night why he seemed so shaken up.
So
Yeah.
basically, he came around midnight to drink more. He was here most of the time, and then he left. And he left the book here, if I recall.
Almost left the book, I thought.
Oh yeah, he almost left the book.
And he had like the stain on his sleeve that could have been blood, could have been wine, but
Yeah.
he was very shaken up and yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know
Around
how I
midnight?
would bring that up.
So I mean,
I thought you guys were gonna bring him back to the sanctum because this is too
All
public
right,
to
we
talk
have
about.
to drag him back there.
you don't have to.
You don't have to, but
You just ask
But it'd
them,
be
like,
funny
several
though,
questions,
and
like,
we have more backup.
Yeah.
I'm
We could
just
do.
saying what
Guys-
you originally said to do, which
See-
is to drag him over.
Yeah, 'cause
Emmi,
I feel
here's my thought process behind this.
are we like are Emmy
he
and
seems to
Adam
be
just like
sorry,
sorry, no, you sorry.
he seems to be in a rather good mood. So I feel like we could either A, use this to our advantage and get questions out before asking him, or B, risk getting him into a different mindset and closed off and prevent getting the answers we want. So if we ask him the things now while he's here, he's in his zone, he's in his own vibe, whatever, and we ask, we ease into his bubble. Because as of right now, you kind of came in hot, no problem with that, but he immediately reacted to it. So it's like, okay, lower his guard a little bit, and then ask him certain things. Ask him if he could come back with us after we've already asked a few questions. Because if we ask him now to come back, you'll feel like it's going to be interrogation 2.0 and then might not respond to it. He's drunk. So you already know that could go one of two ways. You never know.
True. And we can bribe him with more alcohol to come with us.
That works.
But I mean, you could ask him some questions now before you do that. Like
That's
what happened.
we were doing. Yeah. I should have just said something about that because that's exactly what I was considering. But that's
your idea sounds better.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're here. We've been asking questions, and he's been telling us things because he was already "quote unquote" chilling. It's easier to get certain things, certain questions answered while he's not thinking as much introspectively. Like why would they be asking me these things now? And given the way he's been responding without a care, I don't think a part of me doesn't think he's lying. I don't think for someone who is a creative, death is not enough to justify lack of expression.
Yeah.
Unless it was completely hindering his lack of expression. Sure, he's happy he's dead. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's the one who would go that far.
Yeah.
Like, if he came to Candle, I have more questions to ask him later.
No worries. Emmi, do you have a question or an action that you would like to take now?
She'll just take the drink and start sipping on it.
Okay, that's good. Anything else you'd like to do, or are you just gonna spend some time drinking with Darl?
She'll try to befriend him, I
Okay.
guess.
Anything you'd like to say particularly, or just general conversation?
I actually don't know what what to say.
Sure. I mean, you can. It sounded like you had a reaction when Darl called Sylvia a horned tart. You can make a joke about that.
A horned tart.
You can, kind of try to lighten the mood, show him that you're kind of upset, but then, make a joke about it. You could, if you're trying to, get in his good graces, maybe you can talk about a boss. Maybe you can make a joke about Salune, right? Like being a boss, you're literally the cleric to a god. Sometimes her demands are pretty crazy too. Can't say I'd ever want to kill her, blah, 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 but, maybe a sacrifice wouldn't be so bad kind of thing. Whatever. Or you could just say you want to do something and I'll make it up in my head, and like I just did, and we'll go on about our business.
She's pretty bad at jokes, so he's like, yeah, one time I punched a coworker. That was funny. She had a bloody nose. It was pretty funny.
That is funny. That's exactly what happened with me and Janusi last night. And he raises his tankard in the air again for a cheers.
She'll clank with her glass.
And he seems to be in good spirits. So
Adom, out of shock, picks up the mug and says, "Well, so be it." Cheers this to Daryl too.
Cheers.
And bloody noses.
Indeed.
Did he say that he punched?
Yes, he smacked the fuck out of Janusi.
He did.
and he gave him a bloody nose.
He did. That's what he claims, anyway.
Would that mean like Janussi's nose was already broken then, before he died.
Potentially.
That would have to explain it.
Yeah.
See,
If
so
Daryl punched him in the nose and got blood on his sleeve because of it, that would explain the blood on his wrist.
It would.
But mind you, he also said it in a way that it really. He didn't directly say it, but we know because of certain things that he said it. You know what I mean? Like it's he kind of just told us why there's
Yeah.
blood on his sleeve.
Back to the sanctum. We're just going to continue going on the list. So Alaric, Kyle, Eevee, you guys can continue your conversation with Ally.
Bopper.
Wolf.
Hi, Tim. Alaric, you're first. I went last.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, since I changed the way we're doing it, I kind of changed the order in this situation. Eevee still could ask the
Okay.
first question, so it doesn't not really hurting, but I'm just doing it in groups now. Then
Okay. I wrote one question that I
Yep.
wanted to ask him. So I want to ask him what were you doing between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. He said that he left late, like way after everybody. So what was he exactly doing if there was nobody at the dinner? You know?
The 2 hours between.
Celebrations happen all throughout Candlekeep on Deadwinter Eve. The Avowed are having celebrations and drinking and eating. We tend to keep to ourselves, the keepers do, but after our dinner, we like to go and say hello and greet some of the other people. Those of us who, can and aren't a little too drunk to stumble around a bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I stopped in and said hello to some of the people who were working and some of the people who were having various parties and get-togethers. And that was pretty much it. So I did that for the next couple of hours until I met up with Khosrin.
I thought he said he went to his room.
I'm sure I stopped there at some point. Again, we go up and down the Keeper's Tower, the Reader's Tower is in between everything. We all sleep and stay and study here in the Exaltation. It's not uncommon to see everyone here every once in a while.
So you didn't stop by to have a conversation with anybody?
Nothing of real import. Again, it was mostly just wishing everyone a merry Deadwinter's Eve, asking what people got as gifts, seeing if everyone was taken care of, that they had enough food and drink and things to enjoy themselves. I couldn't recall anyone in particular. I think I probably saw, young Fimbris there, and probably Vushadi as well, and probably a couple of others, but that's, like I said, it's not unusual. All of us readers tend to do that. We want to make sure that the Avowed and the other servants and the other workers here at Candlekeep are taken care of. That's kind of our job as well.
Since you were going around and you said that you met and said hi to everybody
Not
between those
everybody.
hours.
There's way
Well,
too
not
many people to do
everybody.
that, but yes, I saw a few.
Well, a good portion, I'd say. Did you notice anything unusual? Like, for example, like someone perhaps panicking, looks scared, or
Not to my knowledge. I mean, everyone's a little nervous when the readers are around, right? It's like talking to your principal, right? No one likes to get called to the principal's office, but no, no one seems unusually frightened.
Hmm. Okay, those were my questions for now. Let me think. Is it Kyle? No?
Mm-hmm.
Um. mm, Trying to think.
It's very tricky. Out of character question while you're thinking of
Mm-hmm.
Brian. When did Catherine say that she left? Was it around the 8?
Um. I believe she left after everything was done.
At the
Eh,
party, or are who are you talking about?
Catherine, like when did she say that she left? Because she did say that she left, and then she overheard Bookworm and Alchrist arguing, and then she claimed that she saw Sylvira walking around. You know, when did she say that she left the dinner?
She said that she left around 8 p.m. after Genasi.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And she said that she heard Bookworm and Alchrist arguing around 10 p.m. whenever Eli had come to say goodnight and have a nightcap with her.
Huh.
Um. I'll ask. What do you think of how Skora is handling her position right now as the keeper, as the keeper, or as the main keeper of Candlekeep?
Is a capable first reader, but I don't think she would. I don't think she would handle the responsibilities of keeper long term. I guessing
But
that's why Janusi was recommending me rather than her.
but she seemed very capable now. Shouldn't she keep the position?
Sure, but a bow may seem capable until it breaks, right? A sword may seem sharp until it's dulled. Some things are good for short term fixes. You know, when Janusi went on vacation or needed some extra assistance, Skoda was always there. She was a very good first reader. She took care of the avowed. She passed on messages. She had her own studies to take care of. But long term, you want someone who's capable for years and years to come. And I, like I imagine Janusi, don't feel that Skoda would fit that role long term.
And you would.
I've been here for a very long time. Yes, I imagined that I would. I guess Janusi thought so as well.
Mm. Okay.
Why? Has anyone said anything?
Not that I know of. Just wondering.
I I understand that you have an investigation to lead, but you
Yeah.
have known us for a total of 5 hours today. I hardly expect you to understand all the intricacies of leading Candlekeep.
Yeah. It was just that seems. It just seems that Skoda just seems to be fitting the position correctly. So why
Reader,
should?
just like anything else, is more of a role than a true title, right?
Yep.
Skoda's responsibilities allowed her to also fulfill the responsibilities of the first reader. That doesn't mean that she would be. Well, it doesn't mean that any of us could not be first reader. It just means that possibly we preferred to dedicate our time more to our own personal studies than to taking care of the avowed and the other sages that are within Candlekeep.
Of course. So other than Skora or you per se, who would you pick as the the main boss here in Candlekeep?
Honestly, can't think of anyone else more suited than I.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay.
my thoughts, my desire to think on Janusi's request was not necessarily questioning my own skills and my own abilities, but questioning whether I wanted to make that kind of commitment. Janusi has much less time for his own projects, well, had much less time for his own projects and studies when he became Keeper. He had to meet with delegates from other great cities. He had to meet delegates from other countries for that matter. He was constantly involved in the day-to-day business with the surrounding area and the politics of it all. That's a lot of things to take you away from, well, the gods in my case. And honestly, what could be more important than the gods?
Right. Are there any specific concerns that you have in regards to the situation that we're in right now, or any individuals that you think we should look into?
Concerns? I mean, Janusi was killed. That's I would say that's a pretty big concern, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Other than that,
I fear that, well, without Janusi's passing on of the title of Keeper of the Tomes, the decision goes to the council, and I'm afraid that some of the council members may play favorites, but other than that, I mean, their main concern right now is finding out what happened to Janusi.
do you have any suspicions of anyone?
Not particularly. We all know of Janusi's relationships with Silvira and how volatile that could be at times, but they've been together for years, and it never seemed to bother either of them. I imagine now that Janusi is gone. Feminor is probably going to make a claim for the position, as she's widely recognized as a friend of Janusi. But other than that, the only thing out of the ordinary that I've seen, I guess, in the last couple of days, was on my way to the meeting with Janusi yesterday morning. I saw Kalen Strongbranch coming away from the Keeper's chambers. I'd never seen him in Keeper's Tower before, which is unusual, but I figured, why not tell you? That's what I meant the first time. I just read the paragraph wrongly. So there you go. Insert that information now.
Okay. Fuck. Can
I think that was like
or?
I think that was like 2 or 3 questions for you. So we'll go up to Emmi.
Yeah.
So Emmi gets a chance, and then when you guys get back, you can choose as a group. If you have any questions for him, you can dismiss him. You can defer to someone else. Blah blah. So Emmi, I'm sorry, not Emmi.
We haven't really taken our insight checks yet.
You have not.
Can we do it now since we're done?
That'll be done at the very end. It'll be done after the person is gone.
Okay.
Eevee, is your turn.
I really didn't have any more questions.
Could I? I was wondering if I could make an insight check when I was talking about who should take the position. When I was talking about,
If you, after it is all over, after he's gone, if you have a specific thing you want to roll an insight check on rather than an individual, just like generic check, then I'll allow that.
Sure. Okay.
At the time. All right, then. Eevee, you said you didn't have any more questions at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we will, unfortunately, we're going to take a quick break again. This should fix the ad situation. We shouldn't have to do this again. I apologize. I messed up and forgot to change the schedule. So we'll take 3 minutes here. Get up, use the restroom, get a drink if you need something, and then when we come back, we will continue with Emmi and Adom in the hearth.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, Jonathan, I will say I do apologize for this. I was at the gym when I was on my way back when I messaged you, and I did not consume any food today. So after the questions for Daryl, I guess, while it's other people's turns, my mic's gonna be muted, like it's constantly always been. But I'm gonna be multitasking. I gotta cook something. I genuinely need to eat something. But I'll be here. I'll be listening, and I'll be attentive. Just know that if for whatever reason, if I'm called on and I take like a minute, like not a minute, like 30 seconds to unmute my microphone, is because I gotta wash my hands or something.
I understand.
Not that I'm asleep or
No
anything. Yeah, sorry.
worries.
Because as of right now, it's even hard for me to keep my eyes open. My head is pounding,
Do that, or lack of food.
especially after a workout. Ay caramba. Mistakes were made.
We understand.
Whew. Yeah. Like I stood up and I feel like I just got left bumper stun grenade. Yeah, I don't know where. I think Mel said that she went to the restaurant. I don't remember, but Lara went to get snacks. So they might be back pretty soon.
We can wait.
I am back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Doing okay.
I mean,
I'm eating
good.
eclair.
Nice.
Eclair.
Oh, Eclair?
Mm-hmm.
Like a pastry?
Yeah.
I thought I was expecting, when I didn't understand the word, honestly, I was expecting some Arabic food that I didn't understand, and then you said an eclair, and I was like, what the fuck? That's not what I expected at all.
Yep, it's
Did I
an
hear that
eclair.
right? Okay. I hope it's delicious.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Good.
It's giving me some life points to survive the next 2 hours.
Nice. I'm about to do a saving throw in the kitchen real quick.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Come back, Dave.
So we're gonna pick up back at the hearth with our good friends Emmi and Adom and Darl. And Emmi, you were up. So he just cheers to you. Adom started drinking as well. You guys are sharing a drink now, kind of trying to get on his good side. And he just he empathized with your story about punching a partner in the face and breaking their nose, with pretty much admitting that he did the same to Janusi last night. So you are free to ask or act however you like.
Um, I'm sorry, I really don't know what to ask. I'm like running a blank.
Ask
Oh.
what he was doing with Lucy last night.
Why did
What?
he punch him? Why
Oh,
was
right.
he in his office? What did he do after dinner?
So Emmy's gonna put the glass down. She's gonna. So why'd you punch him, huh?
Oh, who wouldn't want to punch Janusi, that overblown tryhard? After our meeting, I was fuming all day after our meeting yesterday morning, and then at dinner time he goes on a rant about having to cooperate and work together and work for the better good, and sometimes sacrifices had to be made, yada yada yada, whatever he was saying. Listening to that buffoon patronize us over wheat pudding, it was pretty much everything I could do not to vomit on my plate. So I continued to drink and enjoy my time with everyone there. Much better after that demon in him left. But after no offense to you, obviously you're not all demons. Just she's also a demon and a team. It's complicated, but I'm not racist. I just don't like her. Anyway,
Sure.
after supper, I went back to my chamber for some, quiet reflection. but the man's impudence just weighed heavily on my mind. Keeper or not, he needed to be set straight about a few things. So when I arrived at his chamber, that shameless hypocrite was engrossed in one of the very books he'd have me sell. I felt I had no choice but to deprive him of the pleasure he wishes to deprive Candlekeep of. So I took back my gift. He took exception to this and set upon me like a common thug, throwing punches, pushing, trying to take it back. Who does that? In defending myself, I, may have caught him lightly on the nose. And that was the end of that.
All for a buck?
It's
What
not
was so special about
It's
it?
not the book. It's the principle of the matter. He wanted me to. Just that morning, he was begging me, telling me, directing me, ordering me to sell some of my poetry, some of my books. And then I come back into his office, and he's reading poetry. I gave him that book as a gift, and there he is, reading it and enjoying it for himself. Don't you think that's a bit hypocritical of him?
Yeah, I would have to agree that is pretty hypocritical.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying. If someone like him shouldn't be enjoying the very thing he's trying to deny to the other people of Candlekeep, deny to me. So I figured if he's trying to take it from everyone else, then someone should take it from him. And I tried. Well, I did. And now he's dead. I win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a
Awkward
big
laugh.
sip.
Yeah.
Big sip.
Out of character, why does he think that she's different and you're not? Out of character.
I think he just says her.
Mhm.
I think he just says her.
Probably, but I have a feeling there's more to it, but I don't know.
Because he's doing research. He's not spending time on his own research, and he's spending time on her research because Janusi made him do that.
And
Oh.
Probably that.
and Janusi's trying to get him to basically dwindle his own research to fund her research.
Yeah.
I have a
And-
funny theory of what I know it's a rash decision, but it's just funny. Like, what if he did say something about demon research?
Demon.
Was it? Yeah. So what if Janusi was fiddling with some magic and some demon took his heart?
Oh,
I don't know.
Why?
That was a funny story, but I don't know.
See, as
It would be
wild as that
funny.
sounds, write that down.
It would it would be funny. It would be funny to actually do all this research, and it turned out he just did it himself. He just did something like a wrong ritual or whatever, and he did it.
Well, they did mention ritual earlier.
True.
Someone mentioned ritual
He
earlier.
no. That was Jonathan making that up. I think.
Mm.
I don't know.
Everything I say is made up.
I know. Well, something good to keep in mind. Sorry for interrupting, though. Go ahead.
No.
Start talking amongst yourselves. That's the whole point. Emmi, I'll give you one more question, I think. You got one more question or action or something else you'd like to do? You can defer off to Adom. It's up to you.
Yeah, I
I'll
got a few
defer
questions.
then. Yeah, I'll defer then.
So at this point, Adom is completely done to drink, staring down the bottom of the mug. You seem to be very passionate about your poetry and your crafts.
Poetry is passion. If those who aren't passionate don't write good poetry. And those people who are cold and distant like Janusi, they couldn't tell poetry from a newspaper.
I agree.
So I'm
But I gotta
glad.
ask you, what brought you to Candlekeep exactly?
I mean, look around you. It's the largest collection of literature and art and music in the entire continent. What is not to respect about Candlekeep? I do admit it's troubling to be stuck here in this stuffy place. The hallways, the chambers, the libraries are dreary and drab at times, but a man could get lost all day spending his time reading and learning and writing. Not only that, but the kinds of people you get here at Candlekeep are very eccentric. I mean, look at the two of you, right? You're not the typical people that you would see studying here at Candlekeep, yet here you are. You delivered something for Alchrist, apparently, whatever he says you were doing here. And now, what are you doing? You're investigating a murder? That's amazing. Where else does that happen? Other than in books and games and D&D.
Did he just say D&D?
That was a joke,
Fourth
but
wall break.
Wow.
Crazy. That is a fair point, and you seem you may have ventured over here along with many others, including myself.
Yes.
But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I do my
That's
job
okay.
here. I am one of the great readers. I do sit on the council. I'm not bereft of my responsibilities, but I just expect the same. I expect the same respect of any of the other great readers. I am here to study art. I am here to study literature. I am here to study poetry and music and everything of the like, and I deserve the same consideration as anyone else.
Would you die for it?
Would I die for it? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe on some grand adventure. Maybe for the love of my life. Would I die for Janusi? Would I die for Candlekeep? Would I die for any of the other great readers? Hell no. They don't deserve that from me. But I would. What poet, what artist doesn't want stories to be written about them someday? And I don't know if you've read any poetry lately, or great stories, or great epics, but fortunately or unfortunately, most of the people that are written about tend to end up dead. I can only hope that Janusi's life doesn't deserve a book. That guy certainly doesn't deserve it.
I'm not going to comment on your own personal viewing for Janusi, but I will give you respect for how you see art.
Here.
I'm gonna read one of your poems one day.
He glances over and hits your cup and realizes it's late as well and waves at Bryan, and another one appears in front of you. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry?
Wow, blanks. Hold on. This half brain cells on overtime.
Yeah, the drunk guy keeps interrupting you. That's my fault. Literally and figuratively.
It's fine. I just don't remember what I said. Oh, yes. I said, regardless of what you have going on against Janusi, and I guess the others involved with Janusi, I will say I have to respect how you see art. And I will be looking forward to reading one of your poems one day. Anyone who puts that much dedication and craft into something must have an interesting thing to say or two. Thanks for the drink as well.
He glances up at his drink, and he's been really jovial and really, he's drunk. He's clearly drunk, and you can see it. You can smell it on him. You can see it on his eyes. As eloquent as he's trying to speak, his words are somewhat slurred, but in the most serious tone that he's taken, other than, insulting Janusi, he's very serious about that. But he's still doing it, I wouldn't say lightheartedly, but drunkenly. But in a very sobering way, he just turns to you and says, "Thank you. I truly appreciate you saying that. It's the nicest thing anyone has said to me here at Candlekeep in a very long time. And while my time here at Candlekeep has been spent studying and reading more than writing, I do believe my work is quite good, and I would love for you to read it someday. Maybe I'll find something for you to read. Maybe I'll let you read something that no one else has. How about that?"
Sounds
Good. From the rumors that I've heard, you all have been set up in the Sanctum. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then I will personally deliver you a manuscript sometime in the next day or so. I imagine this investigation will go on some time, and I will give it to you myself.
Look forward to reading it.
Good. And then he turns to his drink, chugs the rest of it, slams it on the bar, and Bryan another. And then he laughs a little bit.
Oh, Bryan, this one's on me.
He nods his head, and money's all the same to me.
You have gold?
You don't have gold?
Of course.
Aren't you the richest person in this whole party?
She
Birthday
hoarded
says the sugar
gold.
mommy of the group.
She's just surprised that if he has gold.
Have gold?
Not you.
You have
Oh,
gold.
you
have
because me
gold.
Adom? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, me.
That was good.
Hey.
Some good conversation. That was good, some good stuff. Emmi, I'll give you one last little thing before we switch to the scene. If you wanted to say or do anything or ask a question from based on Adom's responses, you've heard everything that Darl has said, so you're free to act on it if you'd like, or we can wait and go on to the next scene, and you can think of something while you're waiting.
At the next scene.
Okay.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm a bit out of it today.
We transport ourselves back to Daenerys' sanctum with the other party. Ally is still there. Eevee, I don't believe had any questions for him last time. So, Alaric, it is up to you if you have any questions for him before he leaves, or before you dismiss him. If not, you can defer after a full round of deferment. Then we will just dismiss Ally.
You read. No, nah. I don't have any questions for him. I was trying to. We did do the insight check. No, not yet. Sorry,
not
I
yet.
know
Yeah.
I probably asked
Waiting
it like
until we're
10
done with
times.
all the conversation, and then we're doing.
Yeah,
it.
I do not have any more questions for him. Alaric is just busy trying to like align what he said with what Kazran said to see if it matches, if he senses something is off or anything like that, you know?
That's fine. You'll, like I said, at the end we can roll those insight checks, and I won't give you specifics, but I'll tell you if he's straight up lying or deceitful or withholding, something like that. Kyle, any direct questions you have left for him?
Yes.
Yep.
Do you know when? Do you know when will it be announced that the next keeper will be, or what is the title for
Keeper of the Tomes.
Keeper of the Tomes?
I honestly do not. The council will decide that here shortly, but we only had the one meeting this morning, and it was to discuss the death of Janusi. Skoda will, well, mostly it relies on your party, the five of you, how quickly you can resolve this. I can't imagine that Skoda or the council will want to vote while one of us is perceived as the murderer. That would be a little bit biased, don't you think? So,
Why would it be biased?
Because there's a murderer.
Why would it be biased if a member of the council murdered our Keeper of Tomes?
Mm-hmm.
If the leader of your party was killed by one of the other members of your party, do you think they should have an equal vote?
I understand. Yeah, I don't have any more questions. But thank you for most of the questions that we have.
Yes, of course. I'm happy to help. I want this resolved as quickly as possible.
If there's any concerns or information that you need to give us, please come here and let us know.
I certainly will. I don't think I'm withholding anything at this point, but if you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask me of them.
Of
Eevee?
course.
No questions, but thank you for your time, and we'll come find you if we have any more questions. But if anything, any new information pops up on your end, you know where to find us.
Yes, of course. I certainly will do that. Thank you for your time and thank you for your effort. And I wish you I wish you and the rest of us the best of luck.
Thank you.
And Alai stands up and walks towards the chamber door. He nods to both Pembris and Ushadi and steps out through the doorway, presumably back to his chambers. Let's see. The three of you can go ahead and roll me an insight check if you so wish.
Me, how much do I have on insight? One. Yeah. Okay. Shake, shake, shake. Oh.
Jesus. We're on night shift today.
None of you can pinpoint anything that he said that is a discrepancy, anything you've heard before. His story matches up with Khazrin as far as the timeline goes. He didn't really mention the argument that Bookworm and Alchrist had, as that possibly happened right around the time that he arrived at Khazrin's room. So that may have occurred before he got there. There was no discrepancy in Khazrin's timeline as far as the time that he left in the morning. At the time when Khazrin allegedly saw Silvira, everyone's story about dinner is more or less the same. There's nothing that really stands out to any of you at this time that would indicate whether or not he was being deceitful. I will say that you all get this. You get the idea that he is assured of himself. He does feel that he is as capable as he is saying he is. It's not a matter of maybe not conceitedness, but he is confident. And he also didn't necessarily say anything to... he didn't mean nearly any offense to Skoda either. His words were not intentionally offensive. It was more just he felt that he was better for the job than she would be. But I will give you that. So there you go. Back
So,
just... You have a question? What?
not a question for you. I just wanted to kind of state something out of character for the others.
Sure.
There was like one contradiction that really stood out to me, and he said that the position was offered to him, but Silvira said that Genesee had planned to retire this year and offer it to Feminar.
I'm so glad you said that. Like, something about that.
Should have asked him
Something
about
that. Oh, my fault. Now I'm cutting you off. Shit.
No, I cut you off. I was trying to say it quietly.
Like, when I heard that, even though I'm not in the room, technically, I took a note of that because that alone makes it sound like, okay, somebody didn't approve of that decision. That's why I want to talk to Femina. But this only gives me another reason why I want to talk to Femina. So, thank you for saying that, Mel.
You guys have had some more heartfelt conversation here, some serious conversation, some not so serious conversation. You've gotten some information out of him. We'll start with Emmi again. What kind of question or comments do you have for him, Emmi? Anything?
No.
I don't think she has any more questions.
Yeah.
And I asked all of mine. I got what I needed to hear.
Sure. Okay. if there is nothing else that you need from him, then you guys are free to go and rejoin your party at in the chamber as well. I will let you go ahead. So now that you've kind of left, same thing with the other group. You guys can both roll an insight check, and I will tell you what you got.
Insight. Wait, I'm proficient in. Yeah, I better not roll no 3s, no 5s, no nothing. Emmi, okay. Shake, shake, shake.
Adom. Let's see. You actually get the impression that he was mostly telling the truth. You do also get the impression, though, that he likes, as a poet, as an artist, he likes to embellish, and he's also very self-important. So everything that he said, while mostly factual, obviously painted himself in probably a better light than what actually happened, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
He was obviously, he was indignant, or he felt that it was hypocritical of Janussi to be reading a book of poetry when he's trying to take away the poetry, right? It was more probably just Darl got offended and wanted to punch Janussi in the face, right? It was more like he probably is here celebrating, but he's also probably here drinking because he's afraid that, him fighting Janussi is not the best look for him, right? So he's making it out to be, obviously, Janussi was the bad guy. He punched Janussi out of self-defense, that kind of thing, when honestly it was probably just like a mutual affray kind of thing, situation. But there's nothing truly false, I guess, or dishonest that you can indicate him saying. Is that fair?
I had a feeling that was the case because it seemed like he was telling the truth, but in terms of the phrasing of things was biased within his perspective. Because he seems to have an issue with Janussi's self-righteousness, and usually that only comes into play with people who are also very similar in that way, but conflicting. So his perspective, Janussi's perspective on certain things didn't align, and it seems like all the type of person Daryl is, he seems to seek more understanding, or people to understand his side of things more than borderline anything else. So it's like there's no point going, why would he, the way I see it, why would he then try to kill someone who doesn't understand him or his side of things, when the one thing he's trying to do via his craft is to find the people that actually do understand him and can appreciate the art.
Sure.
That's why he said when I asked him would he die for it, he said he was shocked. He said, I don't know, but with maybe if it was someone he really cared about, but that would leave a different motive behind it. But he said, what's his name? Oh boy, who got murked? Janussi, Severa, none of them are quote unquote worth it. As in, he doesn't place value in them for this kind of reason.
Yep.
The motive doesn't match the actions that he has. So I genuinely don't think that it was Daryl. Regardless of the inside check or not. I didn't think it was Daryl.
Fair enough. All right. So you all, Fimbris included, make your way on back to the Sanctum, where you meet up with the rest of the party. I left Fimbris here because sorry about that. That was silly. Fimbris wasn't there the whole time, so Alai obviously nodded off to Vushati, not to Fimbris. That was just a mistake on my part. But regardless, you guys are all together, and obviously you share the information that you gathered above the table. You all heard all of it, so you discuss what Alai mentioned, and any discrepancy that he may have had. You discuss Darrell and the same thing, any discrepancies that he had. But is there any interaction you would like to have with the party? Is there anything you'd like to speak on?
Not completely direct related to this, but I will say on my way out, I snuck a few more ribs out, so I have a few to share. That's all.
I
Exactly.
I tell them that I didn't use force.
We tell them that there was no need. There was no need.
That means he's like,
So
Me?
Eevee sighs with relief, like thank goodness.
They come in the room
I
by
say-
themselves.
I say boo, but Alaric sighed in relief because he did not want any trouble.
Emmy would have liked to have thrown him.
Also, Adom came back slightly buzzed because he'd been drinking. He's a lightweight. He's a lightweight.
Drink.
He
Yeah,
pats his back.
Does anybody want a rib before I eat these all?
I'll take one. I'll give it to Stolas.
Adom hands Alaric the rib.
Num 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 num.
Whoa.
Chomp.
How was everything
Small
on
crunch,
your
crunch.
guys' end?
Yeah, how'd it go with Alai?
Doesn't
nice.
seem. Well,
And
I
some
don't.
Saturn.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, we didn't really find anything too suspicious, I guess.
Yeah, his story aligned with Kazran, so
Yeah.
I will say, Darrow punching Janusi in the face, not that surprising.
You have to
Punched him in
agree.
the face?
yeah.
Question
Oh,
mark?
we got some stories to tell you.
We do.
So basically, he was already injured.
Janusi seems to have suffered a punch to the nose prior to anything happening via the hand of Daryl, which would explain the bloodstain on his sleeve.
Okay. Me pretending like I haven't heard the whole thing.
Be explaining it like you haven't heard the whole thing.
So he was.
I know, right?
So he was. Are you sure he wasn't the one who killed him?
Daryl?
Yeah.
I have a pretty good feeling that it wasn't him. He seems to be very focused on other matters that would not be close to breaching life or death. Especially given the fact that his disdain towards Janusi had nothing life compromising for him. More passion compromising. But he was still able to do what he wanted to do, just not to the fullest extent. That's why he explained to us that he was happy when he died, but no actions would justify him being the one who killed him.
Fair enough, I guess. Still sus, though.
Absolutely
Okay.
suspect, but we have a few more people to interrogate first. Given the fact that Alai had said that he was offered... Oh, ignore the statement. I wasn't in the room for that.
You guys are discussing now, so you guys have kind of gone over you guys have discussed everything amongst yourselves, so you're free to comment and assume as much as you want at this point.
So we can drop the act. Okay, cool. So given the fact that what's this motherfucker's name? Hold on. Barra. I can't see. One second. No. Faramore? Feminor. Given the fact that
Feminor.
Feminor was supposed to be allegedly the next in line to be the Keeper of Tomes, you heard a different answer from Alai.
Yep.
Since we've already spoken to Alai, I think now we can, I guess, tailor questions around that to Feminor and see who's telling the truth. Because we heard, who was it that we heard that Feminor was going to be the next in command from? Was that Silvira that said that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, my laptop froze. No.
Silvira is the one that said that Feminar was named.
Which she would have heard directly from Janusi's mouth.
Yep.
So now, there's, dang, out of character. Are we allowed to go back and ask the same people?
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. They might be less thrilled to come to your second summons as your first, obviously, especially on the same day when a lot of stuff is going on. So they might decline your request. Right now,
definitely not in the same day.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm pretty much just playing it out in various ways. Obviously, you went to go visit Silvira, but she was welcoming. Darl was not necessarily welcoming, but he was cooperative once you guys sat down with him. Khazrin and Alai seem to be pretty willing to work with you, so that's all going pretty well. But yeah, obviously things will change as the day goes on, as the days go on, right? Because this can't all happen in one day. That's just not enough time. So yeah, I mean, you're free to seek out and ask questions of anyone at any time. But again, the world is happening around you, right? It's not it's not like
of course.
Yeah, they just don't respond to your beck and call.
I have a suggestion for the group, for everyone here. Can we speak to Feminor, I guess, sooner than later? And then on another day, after asking all the questions, go back to speaking to Allied, because something about that I feel like is going to be key to finding out what's actually happening. Because I feel like that's a subtle thing that could be overlooked if we don't ask the right questions.
Sure, but I'm not sure why.
Not sure why?
Other than just finding out that she might be the next Keeper of the Tomes, but sure.
Well, if there's two people that was in question to be the Keeper of the Tomes, and they were fighting for it, whoever ended up not being the one who's for Keeper of the Tomes may have been displeased with that fact, may come up with a different story, have him slain behind the scenes and say he was the next person to be in line. She was the next person to be in line. That's the way I see it. It's a matter of, I should have been picked. It wasn't me. So forget this dude. Execute. That's one way you can see it. And unfortunately, given the fact that how he died, meaning he can't be resurrected because his heart's missing, I think it was deliberately intentional to make sure that the plan, if at all that was a plan, that would not be possible. And this is out of character. I'm just thinking like on a detective kind of. No, go on. What's up?
No, it's so you wanted to speak to whom again? Because I'm looking at the
A lie. I want to be in the room for that though.
You want to talk to
ally
Alai
again. You want to
Not
talk to him
today.
again?
I want to speak to Ally on a different day.
Okay, so looking at the notes, how about we go to a bookworm and or Alchris to just see what would they arguing about, since they weren't Did we know that if they weren't like, are they like arguing privately or?
They were
Well,
arguing privately.
the thing is, they were speaking in Draconic, so like, I'm assuming it was a private discussion.
But they weren't there. I don't know if they
Wait, hold on.
came
Were they
back.
speaking? It was
Huh?
Alcris and Bookworm, right? That were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely Draconic.
Yeah. My thought when I heard this, I was like, if were they arguing the whole time? Did they leave? Did they come back? Did they? What exactly is it? Are they talking plans? Are they trying to conspire? I don't know. I don't know what they were saying, but I kind of want to know.
So you want to talk to Bookworm and Akras,
Yeah.
and Danny wants to talk to Feminor or Ally.
I want to speak to. Damn, all four: Alcris, Bookworm, Feminor, and Ally. But the reason I want to speak to Alcris and Bookworm now is because Adom speaks Draconic.
Oh, really?
So, yes, if there is a way to know what was being said in Draconic, because I don't think this is the first time you guys know this, and no one in Candlekeep else knows this. So, well, I mean, maybe that detective person that left, but if there's a way to like know what was said and try to transcribe what was being said, we could find out if it was a plotting thing or not. Because as of right now, they don't know I speak. So is it possible to interview them at the same time?
Well, maybe we could do it separately and then together.
Yeah, I just want to know. I just want to know if they were arguing the whole time, or did they, argue and left after Janusi or something, sneaked around or something. If they had something to do with it or not.
Hmm. What do you guys think?
Because-
As to how we move. I don't want to.
Let me.
I
I'm
honestly
looking.
don't
We're
know.
looking at We're looking at the notes so I could see who did I mark as suspicious.
Let's go to Alcris because he's
Wait,
the one that
don't know
claims that
specifically what time. I think.
that
Sorry.
we brought the chest and stuff like that. So let's just go to him. Like, let's make a choice here.
Skoda? You talking about Skoda?
I said Alchrist
Alchrist.
Sure.
because we brought the
just
chest
Akras.
to him.
Oh yeah. Where's Alchrist?
Wait,
I want to.
didn't Daryl say he punched Janusi in the face around midnight, or am I tripping?
I think so, but because like
Didn't
when he
say
showed
the
up
time,
at the
and none of you
barn.
asked. Neither of you.
Fuck.
I mean, but we could assume that he did because the bartender said he saw him at 12 with blood on his
So
sleeve.
it was before midnight.
Yeah, so it would
was
have to be
probably
before.
around 11:30ish because it takes about 30ish minutes to get from the tower to the hearth.
So
Okay.
we would assume that if it was around like 11, so let me see. Never mind. I'm tripping right now. I was gonna try to like circle the hours that he might have been killed so we could start asking, re-asking what were they doing within these hours. But I don't know shit. So body was found 7 a.m. around 7 a.m. right? By
Yeah.
Ally and Holly Pocket. That was
7:30.
Tedrick. 7:30. Was it 7:30 exactly?
7:30. Todrick mentioned 7:30 a.m. She rushed to Ally in shock. Or she rushed to
Oh.
find Ally in shock. The
Okay.
Holly Pocket, I think.
and then Daryl punched him. You see, we assume that it was around 11 p.m., right? Well,
Yeah.
well, because we didn't ask. And Silvera's, I did not note actually.
So Vera got sick around 7, I think.
No. She did say that Janusi came to her room, to give her a gift, but that was before 10 p.m., right? He wasn't, he wasn't punched.
Around 10 p.m. By then, probably not. If Daryl was there around 11 to 11:30, trying to get the book back and whatnot, and smacking him in the face, then that probably would have been after. Pretty sure everyone else would have mentioned something about his broken nose if it was there anytime sooner.
Yeah, it was probably
True.
after. It was probably after he visited Silvera. So
Mm.
so it could have been probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find whoever was awake after 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. Is us.
Well, we still have more people to ask to find that
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So maybe we should wait to ask those types of questions, like comparing our suspects, until after we find out all of our suspects' actual timelines.
Yeah.
Just, so that way
Let
we're
me
not
type something.
dragging this out and potentially forgetting information. Like, let's get all the
Writing.
information and then let's start comparing.
So
Yeah, it's
so Eevee and Kyle said Alcaraz. What are
Yep.
you guys?
I'll be back.
Who are you guys picking?
What'd you say, Brian?
Who are you guys picking to interview next? Eevee and Kyle said Alcaraz.
yeah, we could go to Alcrest. I mean, yeah, I mean, we could get
I don't mind it. Sorry, my brain is shutting off now. I don't mind though.
okay,
Yeah.
what time is it for you guys?
It's only 4 minutes to 7. It's just I haven't eaten breakfast.
7
PM.
Okay.
You and your Into the Future.
Okay,
So,
let me
I believe it's 6 p.m. for Jonathan.
okay, let me
Or 3 to 6. Yeah.
I think it's 7. It's 6 for me and Mel, 7 for you three, and then ungodly hour for Laura. Actually, it's probably not that bad, right?
Was
What,
it 3?
3?
It was at 3 a.m. 3 minutes to 8 for Lara.
Yeah, 3 a.m. now. I'm
Yeah, 3
fine.
minutes to
I'm
3.
fine. Yeah, I'm fine since I'm eating my Eclair and still sipping on the coffee, same coffee.
The way you
It's a
say
big
Claire
mug.
is so cute.
Eclair.
Yeah, I gotta cook now.
Are you back?
Mm,
I was going to ask how everybody was feeling. If Laura's doing good, I know Daniel needs to cook. Mel's still recovering. We can go. We could do another interview, or you guys can do something else, or we can call it for the day and pick up next week, so you guys have more questions and more time to think. I do not care. It's up to you. Just need to give me a name or something. So
Next time I am going to take my notes from my phone because I'm being slow with note taking. I keep forgetting what was said.
yeah, note taking's hard. It's not something. It's not easy.
I am
Uh,
dog with it.
I always also hate to keep telling you, can you repeat? Can you repeat? Because every time I press W, it pops out. Every time I press D, it pops out. So I have to put it back in.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I have to organize my notes, and then add a new one on my phone so I could keep sending myself when I'm done.
I can share my screen and stream at the same time. I'll try. These are my notes for the other campaign. Let's see if I can share this. Share your screen. Applications. Session note. You guys see? Oh, it's probably pretty small. Make it a bit bigger. So, like, give you a couple of days.
I do the same thing, but instead of like lines and tables, it's literally in bullet points. The way I wrote it in
Yeah,
when I was.
Same.
I just don't do everything. Every line is a bullet point. So if there's things that need to be said, or if there's something that comes of it, then I copy it. This is like word for word what Anthony says. I try my best to go back and like update my notes, like by reviewing the VOD and stuff like that. If there's a fight, then I know to go to combat, and I can note like what exactly we fought, how many of anything. Players NPCs, I always their name, what they are, and then their title, thing like that. And then any loot we get is always written out, where we got it, who took it, if anybody took it, and then things that require like something. Like, so for these were letters. Well, what did the letters say? Describes the ties between the Wizards of Thay and the Cult of the Dragon. Or like here when we got these spell books, right? These spell books were huge, so I wrote all those out. And then this is just any miscellaneous notes that I have if there's anything that's important. Like early on when we did that, when we had all those contests in the bar with the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet, we did like the arm wrestling and the hunting and stuff, so I have all that. This is what was, I think these are like the items we found and how much they cost, stuff like that. We learned the countersigns.
Mine is not as detailed, but yeah, that's really well organized.
What are we looking at?
Oh, we were just talking about
Notes.
keeping notes. Laura said that she was going to need to use her phone and stuff, so she wasn't like back and forth on the same monitor, and I was just showing her this, like, these are my notes and how I take, like, you can see,
Yeah, sorry,
like, when
guys.
we're doing things like for this, there's all kinds of stuff, like that extra stuff, but that's pretty much it. It's not anything important.
Okay.
That's
Is that
great.
Excel?
That is Excel, yeah.
Nice.
But it just helps me, like, keep track of everything. Every decision we make should have a line and when I'm taking notes, right? Everything that we do, whether I make additional notes on it or not, is, different. Oh, I think my stream went crazy because I was trying to stream on Discord and Twitch at the same time. I don't think Twitch liked that at all.
No.
What the
Okay.
fuck?
Well, hopefully it gets back to normal. But
So what?
yeah. Okay. So nothing is missed. That's how I take my notes if it helps you. Like I said, I think a timeline is going to be important for you guys. You talked about individual timelines, which is good. So if you want, you can always create an additional like sticky note for each character and go down the line and kind of where they were when it was happening. But that's up to you. These are your notes, not mine. The only thing that we were going to discuss before we get started, I guess, is how's everyone feeling? How's the motivation levels? Daniel's still good. Laura's doing fine now. She's eating. Or Daniel needs to eat. I didn't mean Daniel's doing good. I mean Daniel needs food.
I'm gonna be cooking while this is happening, but I'll have all my notes and everything there. It's just I'm gonna be cooking while I'm doing it.
I was
Do we
given
want
a
to?
hot.
What was that?
I was given a hot pocket.
Nice.
Nice,
Sounds
nice.
good. Are we everybody good to keep going? We got another hour until the until the session is scheduled to end, but obviously we want to go and make sure everybody's doing good. Are we still motivated to keep going? Do we want to do one more interview? Do you guys want to go look somewhere else, investigate the dining hall, or investigate the crime scene one more time and look for something? So whatever you guys want to do.
It's really up to everyone's motivation. I'm okay to go for 1 more hour, but if everybody wants to stop, I don't mind.
I'm good both ways.
I wouldn't mind stopping a little early tonight, but if everyone else wants to keep going, I'm still down to play. But I would honestly prefer to stop a little early tonight.
Fair enough. Bernadette, Bryan.
Yeah, I'm fine with either, but if you want to stop, we can stop.
Either or.
If everyone is indifferent and Mel wants to end early,
Yeah,
we
I
can
was thinking
just
this. Yeah.
rip like
So
this.
it's like a 0, 0, 0, 0, -1.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
-1's win. Okay, so I get it. I understand. This takes some mental agility sometimes, and sometimes you're just tired. I know Mel's still recovering. Everybody's good. I hope you're all still enjoying it. If there's anything I can do better, let me know. But what was that, Ryan?
Nothing.
No, what?
What are you going to say?
I'll say something after a few sessions later.
Few sessions?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. So we'll go ahead and call that officially for the day. You got a couple more interviews which was good. You found out a little bit more about Darl. You started to learn a little bit more about Alai. The next session, we still have four more readers to interrogate. And you also have, a couple of other people, a couple of key players down here at the bottom. You've kind of already talked to Todrick and Miss Holly Pocket. There's still Kalen that's available. Kai might not know much, but he is still there to ask questions of, although he's probably going to be busy making sure the body is in good shape or in a good condition for the ceremony later. And there's other places where you can look as well. You've investigated the crime scene, but there's still like the dining hall, or the dining room rather, that you can investigate, look for any clues there. It's one of the only places where every single keeper or reader was before the murder happened, right? So you kind of investigated the crime scene where it was the same kind of situation. Obviously, the focus was on the deceased body, the corpse in the room. But you know that every keeper or every reader and potentially every character that you've heard of so far was in and out of Janusi's room early the morning before the death. And you know that all of the readers were in the room were in the dining room at the same time for the Neverwinter dinner. And as well as a few waiters. There were a few servants, not servants, but there were a few people acting as servants, I guess, that were there amongst the avowed. So it was, the important people plus the three avowed who were equally important, but, not as much of a suspect. So that's where we're sitting right now. We will call it here and pick up next Wednesday. I'll go ahead and end the stream here. I'll stay in the call, so if anybody has anything to talk about afterwards, then we're free to do that. But if you have nothing else to say, I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Bye.
Alrighty.
Thank you for the way you set things up, Jonathan, honestly.
Always, anytime. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I could just mute it, so put it on stream. Oh, there. This I might see you in a bit. I'm gonna get some food real quick and rest, maybe make some dinner, and then I might end up being with you on either on stream or I'm playing or whatever we're doing. So either way, thank you all for being here with me while you can. What I was going to say is this obviously takes a lot more like mental. It's a lot harder to like really think your way through things, live in the world that you're in, gather clues, ask questions. Investigator is a job, right? It's a career. It's not something that everyone is naturally good at. So we try to kind of supplement that with the dice rolls. We kind of try to make sure everyone feels good about what they're doing. While at the same time, it's a way for people to stretch their brain a little bit. It's different than just rolling dice and hitting things hard. This is a little bit different than what they're all used to, what anyone's used to. Not everyone's out there running murder mysteries during their D&D campaign, but I thought it'd be a cool change of pace. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to end the stream there. If you want, let's go ahead and do a quick shout out to Kyle here. I'm probably going to play some Deep Rock Galactic with him if the invitation is still there. I think he's playing Deep Rock Galactic with his brother and potentially another friend, so it might be me and Tim joining him at some point tonight, but we'll have to see. I'll let him get settled in and figure things out. But if you want to hang out with us some more, go say hi to him. He will be there. He starts stream in about 20 minutes, so he might be live now. I haven't checked, but his stream should be up and going soon, and we might be over there with him. So anyway, I love you all very much. I appreciate you all very much, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow with some Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. Bye.